Michigan Dems are passing a bill that makes intimidating selection officials a felony. Yeah. Why we are booing this is because they're going to put away people who challenge ballots. Okay, they're going to call that intimidation. I'm smiling, so I'm like the innocent one. I'm going to mark this one for Biden, and then you say, hey, that says Trump, and then bam, jail time. Okay. Michigan State Representative Kara Hope has written two bills, HB 4129 and 4130, which criminalize intimidating a selection official. America First patriots have fought for selection integrity for years, and they are concerned about these bills that are just a thinly veiled effort to put them in prison for challenging fraudulent ballots in the 2024 cycle. This would match the ongoing effort by leftists to prosecute, harass, and persecute DT to keep him off the ballot in 2024. The proposed Michigan bill reads in relevant part, I'm not going to read it, but you guys get the idea. These bills were heard in the Selections Committee of the Michigan House, where DT endorsed Rep. Rochelle Smith serves as the vice chair of the committee. During the committee hearings, Rep. Smith offered an amendment to define a poll watcher and ballot challenger as a covered selection official to make sure this proposed law wasn't used against GOP poll workers and challengers. The amendment was voted down. Wow. So in other words, the election officials that are in, they're protected, but poll watchers, no. So this is more like they want their people to be able to shout down our people and be able to adjudicate, right? They rejected it out of hand. It was very clear from their reaction. Not only do they not want to protect GOP poll watchers and challengers, but they intend to use these laws against them. Every time someone witnesses V fraud and raises their voice to get noticed, left-wing operatives are going to call the cops on them. This bill is going to criminalize challenging V fraud. Selection integrity patriots are simply concerned. Bob Cushman is a regular GOP poll challenger in Michigan, and he says, what we're seeing here is Democrats taking their malfeasance and making it look like we're the bad guys, that the people questioning Democrats are the ones intimidating and breaking laws. It's really just the other way around. Democrats try to outlaw the things that they're doing, and they're trying to intimidate people from challenging fraudulent ballots. I've been intimidated by Democrat selection officials in both the primary and general selections in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Bob Cushman is one of the interviews for TGP's 2020 interviews of Michigan witness to V fraud. Cushman added, if you do your job and challenge fraudulent ballots, Democrat selection officials always claim you're intimidating them. Democrats then use their false perceptions as an excuse to throw you out of any counting location. They did that a lot, by the way, out in Detroit. Other GOP watchers reported the same treatment as Cushman described, including Elizabeth Forlini, Articia Bomber, and Andrew Seto. Speaking of Detroit, why hasn't Abbott and DeSantis sent busloads of migrants to Detroit? That's bizarre. Why is Detroit spared? I don't get it. It's almost as if like, oh, they need workers in New York City and Chicago and LA, so let's bust them there. But Detroit, there's nothing going on there, right? It's a dead city. Democrat selection workers have also lied about being intimidated by GOP. Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey told Michigan legislature and media outlets that she was threatened after the 2020 selection by someone in her neighborhood threatening her dogs. And Janice Winfrey is a liar. Winfrey was approached by a reporter from the TGP and asked a few questions, and then Winfrey is the one who threatened the reporter. Winfrey told reporter, in quotes, I dare you to stay right there, on video. And then to the media and the legislature, this lying public official lied and said that she was the victim. On selection night, as Christina Caramo told the TGP, all of the hostility and intimidation was done by Democrats against GOP. In quotes, they were like a pack of dogs, says Caramo, who got robbed, by the way, of the SOS position in Michigan. She is, however, become the GOP chair in Michigan, so she has a place, in our side, in our team. Democrats can lie like this about being intimidated, but when this bill goes through, no doubt it will be whoever they dislike who will get prosecuted based on similar hoaxes. Sandy Kissel heads up the Selection Integrity Force, a nonpartisan organization of the primary volunteers dedicated to clean selections. Kissel told the TGP, poll challengers play a critical role in the V systems by helping ensure the laws and processes are followed. Many selection workers only do the job a few days a year and often are doing it for the first time. The second set of eyes of poll challengers critical to safeguarding the voting and counting processes. While all poll workers should feel safe doing their job, this bill will put fear into those acting as poll challengers, prevent people from volunteering, and thwart them from speaking up when they see an issue. Kissel added, in 2022, I was accused of intimidation because I merely leaned in momentarily to be close enough to see. If this law had existed, would I have been arrested and charged with a felony? Probably, because she's GOP, right? The two bills are currently on second reading within the Michigan House, meaning that they must be voted on 2 more times before passage, before being sent to a Michigan Senate for approval and then sent to Whitmer for signing. As Democrats control all 3 House, Senate, and governor, this action is considered likely. So far, the bill has passed along straight party line votes. Yeah. That's what happens when you fall asleep, Michigan. You saw what happened. You see what's happening in your state, and you guys are still completely asleep at the wheel. You not only allow what's her face, the hot one that ran against Whitmer. You not only allow her to get jacked, you allowed your House and your Senate to also go jacked. Now you're in a lot of trouble. Okay, you see Illinois, a place that is kind of mostly red, except for Chicago. They got jacked. Everything, the whole state, they got jacked before you guys. Look where that state's headed. $0 bill statewide. You guys are getting that next. Okay, and Arizona could get stolen next year. The House and the Senate. They're lucky right now that they have a GOP House and Senate in Arizona.